Hey, welcome to the Tune-In. This is episode 2. I'm Ben Tyree. If you don't know me, I'm a guitar player, I'm a composer, I'm a producer, and a painter living in Brooklyn, New York. If you'd like to check out my website, it's www.bentyree.net. Please support, please stay in touch. One thing I need you to do right now, if you don't mind, is to click this little red subscribe button if you're on YouTube. It would be a big help. Also, if you like this show and you want to support and help us keep the lights on, you can donate at, let's see, Venmo at Ben Tyree or Cash App $Ben Tyree. And so cool. So I have the unique pleasure of introducing you tonight to Garrett Shider, born on the mothership of Parliament-Funkadelic's rise to fame in 1978. Garrett Shider came out of the womb wailing for the hand-me-down diaper of his parents' legacy. Son of P-Funk's guitarist, vocalist Garry Shider, a.k.a. Starchild, a.k.a. Diaper Man, young Garrett began his life surrounded by his father's infamous funk band. For decades, his father continued touring as an accompanying frontman with the band, giving Garrett his first shots at recording on Pumpin It Up and a feature on Red Hot Chili Peppers' song Brother's Cup. When he was just 7 years old, the wild antics incumbent of the band's live performances and cult followings inspired Garrett to follow in. So, this is going to be really exciting. P-Funk, one of my favorite bands, seen him at least 24 times in my life. Not sure if I've seen him with Garrett, as he, I believe, we're going to find out, but he recently joined in the past 10 years. However, one interesting fun fact, we went to high school together, and I haven't seen him in a long time, so this should be really fun. So please welcome Garrett Shider.
What's up, man? How you doing, friend?
What's up with you? It's been a second.
Yeah, I know. I know. I don't get out anymore.
I feel like there's a lot to catch up on, right?
Yeah, man.
Years and years and years and years.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
So I just gave you an introduction, so we're past that.
Oh, okay. Are we live?
No, we're not live.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, but I pre-recorded all the formalities.
Okay. Okay. You look very New York in there, man. That looks very much like a New York style that you got going on there, man.
What do you mean, the room or the
Yeah,
what?
the background, the entire background. It looks very New York.
So what's New York about it?
Just the whole vibe, man. You know what I'm saying? The vinyl, you know what I'm saying? The space, everything. Just, when I come to New York, that's what it reminds me of. Just
I wish you could come over. I remember you used to hang out because I'm in Prospect Heights.
That's right. Yeah.
So I remember did you had a girlfriend nearby or something for a while?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, but I still find myself up there from time to time though. So I have to give you a shout when I get up there.
Absolutely. Where are you now? California?
No, I'm in DC. Back in DC.
Good. Good.
Yeah, California's becoming my second home.
Yeah. Where LA area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw. I don't know, a month or a couple weeks ago, you were doing some recording or something in LA.
Yeah, I was out there a couple of weeks ago. I did a little recording. And I did a live stream show while I was out there too. It was all pretty cool. I got I hang with Norwood, the bass player from Fishbone. He's a really good friend of mine, and I hang with a pretty cool circle of musicians, kind of, off the strength of him. And then the studio I was hanging at is someplace that I just happened to be jamming at last January when I was out there for NAMM.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy saw that I was out there and he invited me back. And when I went through there, he kind of just, gave me the keys and opened the door for me. And he hosts live stream shows. So he set that live stream show up for me to do too. So
nice.
It was cool. That's why I like going out there. I always find stuff to get into.
Well, what's going on in DC lately?
Not much. Not much. I usually come home to DC and I kind of end up getting stagnated here, man, because it's usually nothing happening here.
Yes. Well, you have to make things happen if you're going to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of why I left. But
Yeah.
I think I was back in October because both my parents still live there.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was like, I better go now while it's kind of not super cold yet.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
went in
Yeah.
like early October I got an Airbnb and hung out for like 5 days.
Oh, okay.
And
Sure,
I
you
don't,
gotta let me know next time you come by the studio.
yeah, I will. I will. Well, right now I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, oh, I dig it. I dig it. That's a smart move right now.
um, Although I end up, like over the summer I had some outdoor gigs here and there,
Uh,
but nothing like what it was going to be like
yeah.
had all this not happened. And I know that's the case for you too.
Oh, all the musicians that I know are in that boat right now. So,
It sucks. It's really sucks. So but the cool thing is that we can do shit like this.
yeah,
That's the only
that.
cool thing about
Yeah, I was about to say that part is
it.
cool, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard trying to figure out how to make this pay some bills when you need to pay some bills, man.
Especially when they can't get this damn bill together in
Yeah,
Congress.
that's what I'm sitting there
It's
looking
like
at too.
these
And
people are playing with lives.
and the worst part about it is like, you know what I really peep right now is what's really on blast is how little respect people here have for artists.
Absolutely, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's nobody is like, you know, what are musicians gonna do? What are venues gonna do? What are
Right.
booking agencies gonna do? I see a lot of people trying to like make that case, but
Yeah.
nobody's picking that up, man, because everybody just kind of expects that musicians kind of just I got it like that for some reason. I don't get that. Like I've even had some of my friends. I had somebody ask me to play for their birthday party,
Hmm.
asked me to do it for free, and I was like, and it's like, well, you're not working anyway. I was like, no, that you know, that's how little respect the arts garners here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you know, no one has any respect for our craft, bro, and what it takes to do what we do.
Well, just the fact that that first bill they passed had provisions for gig workers at all in the unemployment thing is like that's a step in the right direction
It,
because at
it's
least they're
it,
like, okay, if we
it's
don't
a
put this in, we're gonna have a depression.
it's
And
a it's a step, but if you ask me,
yeah,
the arts and entertainment industry needs a bailout because
absolutely.
like
But not the but the people like us,
yes,
not Spotify, not
yes.
iTunes. They don't need a bailout. They're
Yes,
fine.
that's exactly what I'm talking about because people are underestimating you know the possible ramifications of starving the entertainment industry out of existence. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like nobody's really thinking about the possible ramifications of that because everybody's like, "Oh, well y'all will just make music regardless and just go online and just make music like you've been doing." You know, but no common people don't understand the inner workings of the music business.
No,
So
they do not.
most people looking at it are like, oh well, if you able to be on like you doing, you must be doing all right, and they just assume that, you know what I mean? So it's
Like
like,
you even have to tell. I even had to tell family. Like the first time I was on national television,
yeah.
my mom was telling people I was rich, and I'm like, Mom, I'm not rich.
It's like
Like
let me show you
let
my
me let.
paycheck from that gig.
I was like, that was a union gig, so you get this, and then if you get a light on you, you get another like $100. If you get a mic, you get another couple hundred. Like no.
Right. That's what I'm saying, man. Everybody sees this as such a glitzy and glamorous lifestyle, man. It's like, no, man, y'all don't understand. Like, I
No.
even has people that think that, you know, it's like the musicians and artists that they like know have money and have like been on TV flossing money, you know. It's like they all
Right.
right. I was like, man, bruh, y'all just don't get it, man. It's like even somebody like that, you know, anybody who is not able to just make endorsement and residual money like that, is hurting right now,
I mean,
bro.
even those people are hurting because
Are
I mean,
hurting,
I know
man.
people that played on records you're going to hear if you just drive to the store. You're going to hear them 4 times on the radio, and they're hurting.
Everyone is
You
hurting,
know,
man, in this industry, man. No, like no one is immune. No one is immune. No caliber of entertainer is immune right now. So
right?
yeah.
But
Uh,
I feel that you have the thing that I have, the DC grind, where we're just gonna push and plow through,
you
like
damn
no
right.
matter what, right?
You damn right. That's it. I was just telling somebody this the other day. I was like, man, when I got back into this, like I've been doing,
Yeah,
I left any security that I had to pursue this and made this my full time job. So when this hit, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't about, oh, woe is me, you know what I'm saying, woe is me. It wasn't about that. It was about, oh shit, how do I make this how do I make this make sense now?
right,
That's what it
right.
was about. But this got to make sense.
Well, can we talk about that? Like when you really got into this phase of your music career? Because I remember we were in high school. We were in high school together, and you were a vocal major, right?
I've been through a lot of phases
But did
musically.
you have any clue? Like, okay, when I'm, whatever, 40 years old, I'm gonna, because for the people out there, your dad, your late father, the great Garry Shider, was one of the founding. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, one of the founding members of
But
Funkadelic. Yeah,
not founding members, but
but very early.
yeah, one of the OGs. He's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of the
yeah,
ones who put it on the map.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, I can remember when we were in high school. Like, you remember Mr. Newman.
Mm-hmm.
He used to play us all the records.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know if you spent much time in that room, but we would tell him what we were listening to, and he'd say, "Oh, you think that's bad? Check this out." And he put on all kinds of jazz, and he put on funkadelic, and he had all of it right there on vinyl, ready to go.
Yeah. He's
I,
he used to always catch me in the hallway, be like, "Hey, man," he always made some kind of P-Funk
yeah,
reference to me, and when you see me in the hallway.
but I remember he put on hardcore jollies,
Uh-huh.
and I think that was your dad on the lead vocal of that.
That was probably
Sorry, not hardcore jollies, but cosmic slop.
okay. Yeah,
Because
that's
there's
him.
that live version that is
Yeah,
like,
that's him.
and
That's
he was like, yeah, Garrett, that's his son, and we were like, oh man, but
he was blowing the whistle on me. I was walking around there trying to be quiet about it.
no, but it's beautiful. I mean, and then now here you are.
So so
It,
to
it,
answer to answer
yeah,
that question, no. Because when I was in Ellington with you, and when we were doing that, I first and foremost, I didn't want to go to Ellington. I played football. I love sports, and that's what I wanted to do. And my mother kind of made me. She set the audition up for me, and I told everybody, I said I really tried to mess that audition up, and they took me anyway. And it was like as I got in there and got into it and kind of started, to open my mind a bit to it, I started to enjoy it. You see what I'm saying? And then
yeah,
once I really realized that I was kind of good at it, that kind of made me really tune into it. And while I was there, yeah, I thought I was probably gonna go to like college and pursue music, and be like an educator, and the thing that performing arts school, the path that performing arts school can push you into if you don't end up making it in the arts. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Like
sure,
I was prepared for all of that.
mm-hmm.
That's what I was wanting to do at Duke Ellington. But now, if you remember, when we went to that school, a lot of kids were going to school there that didn't live in the DC area.
Right,
I was one of them.
right.
So they made me leave the school going into my senior year, and they wanted me to pay like back tuition that I couldn't afford.
Oh wow, no,
Yeah,
I
so
didn't know that.
yeah. So because of that, I had to spend my senior year at my neighborhood school, and they wouldn't transfer my records over, so it pushed me behind and put me in this big
Oh man.
clusterfuck that I did my 12th grade year. They still wanted me to come back to do another semester, which I came back to do. And then as I was doing that, they were like, well, you're still missing credits here, missing credits there. So
Mm.
now I'm 19 years old. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I dropped out of high school at that point. And then I was just at this crossroads. I didn't really, I was back in my neighborhood school. I was back mixed up with neighborhood kids. I was still coming to Duke Ellington because they still had me performing in the show choir and all this, that, and the third they weren't performing on the school.
Right.
But I was flailing, and I was back in my neighborhood, and then I ended up getting like mixed back up into my neighborhood, back into neighborhood trouble. And essentially, it was kind of my dad. It was kind of both of us. I wanted to go anyway, and he seen that. He's like, all right, you ain't about to be doing nothing else. It was like, you need to come on out here with us now. And so that's what I ended up doing. Now I was 19, and I officially now had a payroll job in George's band, working in his crew.
Wow, so I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
wow, okay.
It was just like that. It was that fast from Duke Ellington, like I said, that one little quick year of high school where I tried to finish and keep it going, but after all of that clusterfuck, it was like, all right, that's it. And next thing you know, I was out there now, and so I did that for 8 years. I was out there from 19 until, no, not 8. I was out there until I was about 24.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was out there, I made a friend that is still my best friend of the day. We was just happened to be the same age out there. And we were both I was also in the rap. So we were both in the rap, and we put a rap group together. And George let us open up the show.
What was that group called?
It was called the THC Mercenaries.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
THC
great.
Mercenaries, and
Great.
we shortened it. We shortened it to Merc Camp for short.
Merc Camp.
Yeah,
right.
but it was
okay.
the THC Mercenaries.
Wow.
It was shout out. But he let us open this show, and he let us do it for 2 years. And while we were doing it, we were getting better.
Yeah.
We started putting records out, and so this is where I was at. All of a sudden, I was a rapper, and I was actually good at that too. So I was a rapper. I had this rap group. So that check my journey. Some Duke Ellington and singing classical music to now I'm in P-Funk and I'm a rapper, and I did that, and 2 years of that, and we built some momentum, and then George decided to pull the plug on us. So after he did that, I left the road. Now I'm 23, 24 years old. I left the road. I had a child now that was about 3 or 4. That was 4 years old now. I went home, and now I just proceeded to get a job. And for the next 8 years I just worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was disgruntled with music. I didn't touch music for that whole 8-year period. I didn't do a thing.
Wow.
I ended up at FedEx by the time I was 28.
I remember that. And I remember that. When we reconnected, it was at BB King's at your dad's benefit concert.
Yep.
And that's kind of where that picked up, right?
So that's what I was getting at. So now after 5 years at FedEx, Dad passes away, and so when he passed, FedEx, they gave me a month off. I went to when it happened, I went to the general manager, and I, pulled my dad up on YouTube. I said, look, man, my father just passed, and this is not about to just be like no funeral, and I need a couple of days off. This is like something so he got it, and he was like, okay. So they gave me a month off. I took the month. George, they were on tour. So in the midst of setting up the service, having the memorial service for my dad and all of that, I ended up on the road with George, and I just needed it because I was like devastated, and I was like really thrown, and I needed the therapy.
Yeah.
So I was on the road with George, and somehow or another they just had that tour was like set up to where they just happened to be in like New York or New Jersey playing the show the night before Dad's memorial service. So,
Mm-hmm.
essentially all that month I spent on tour with George, and in between tour with George and at my grandmother's house in Plainfield, because at my grandmother's house in Plainfield at the time, my uncle Tim was living there, and she had a big house with a bunch of rooms in it, and he had turned a few of the rooms into studios.
Mm.
So me, my younger brother, and his best friend, we were stowing away on tour, and then we ended up at my grandmother's house. And in the midst of all this happening too, like all of a sudden my social media, I went from having like 300 or 400 friends to, like in the week after Dad passed, it was like all of a sudden I had 1,000 people hitting me up, and then another 1,000 people hit me up. And everybody was like, yo, we know you're getting ready to carry your dad's legacy. We know you're getting ready to do that, and it's time, and a whole bunch of that. So, between all of that going on, we got to my grandmother's house. We stowed away in one of the studios, and we started recording like we always do. My little brother put a little beat down, and all that session, I was starting to feel it all right at that moment. I was like starting to say to myself, I can't do this rap shit anymore.
Mm.
And I started writing my verse to that track. And the verse that I ended up writing, essentially, in so many ways, led on to everybody who actually heard me. After I finished dropping the verse, everybody was kind of like, I think he's done with this. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was very, it was like it was very it was like not intentional. It's like I wasn't like intentionally like I'm about to write a verse saying that I'm through. It's just I just kind of started jotting my thoughts and trying to make them rhyme. And like by the time I finished like laying the verse down, I was kind of saying the same thing. Like, damn, I sound like I'm done with this. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? And then I was sitting back listening to it, and I saying, you know what? Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. I can't do this no more.
Mm.
I can't do rap no more. Oh, and then this little nugget. And then about a week before my father passed away, he was sick as hell, in a wheelchair and shit. I just bring him in from wheeling him around outside. He want to go outside, and he brings me inside. He's looking at his gold records. He couldn't even really talk, but he just started crying and shit and just going through this whole thing. And then he snaps out of it, and he looks me dead in my face and says, "But I'm counting on you to make sure that the Shider's name is known." He's
Mm.
essentially, it's like, I've done all I could do with P-Funk, and that I've laid all the legacy that I could there, but I'm counting on you to take it there.
Wow.
So all of that's going through my head while I'm writing this verse, and essentially, declaring like, this is it right here, because I got to do something deeper than this. So now I'm essentially now knowing that I'm about to take this journey. I have to go back to work though. I only had a month off, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I go back to work. I worked for about 2 weeks, and lo and behold, all of a sudden, like, this is when they had just started like putting those speed and camera tickets out here in the Maryland, DC area.
Yes.
So lo and behold, in 2 weeks of me being back to work, I unbeknownst to me, accumulated the first week. You accumulated a speed ticket. If you get another one, you're suspended a month. A week later, guess what? You accumulated another speed ticket, so you're suspended a month. So this is 2 weeks after I just got back from the memorial service, right? And so now I'm suspended again. And it's like, as I walked out of there that day, I think at that point I was like, you know what? Y'all just that's the universe is working for me right now. The universe is trying to tell me something, and I'm going to take the message. You know what I'm saying? I didn't quit immediately because I had a month suspension and shit, so I was still going to get somewhat paid. So I took that month. I came back after that because within that month I had decided now, like, I'm done with this shit, and I do have to carry on Dad's legacy, and I have to do it in this. I knew how I had to do it, but now I was worried about that because Ben, tell me, when was the first time that you ever remember seeing me with a guitar in my hand? You knew me in high school when you played guitar.
I think the first time I ever saw you with a guitar was I don't
Right.
know.
Right on. Right.
Never.
Exactly. So look, I didn't even take interest in guitar till after I had left Duke Ellington, and I just dabbled with it a bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I had any desire to really try to be great at it. I just wanted to kind of be able to play it enough to kind of incorporate it in my rap thing at the time, right? But now at this point, you know, you fast forward to this point, and it was like, okay, now I'm telling myself I want to carry this legacy, and I kept saying, you know what, the first thing everybody's gonna say to you is they find out, oh, you're Garry Shider's son. They're gonna be like, I know you know how to play that guitar. You know they're gonna say that to you. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I cannot play this fucking guitar. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah, so essentially at this point now, I've, you know, and I went back to FedEx. I turned in my notice. I made that happen. So now I'm done, and now I'm out here like, yeah, I'm about to carry Dad's legacy. Now, how do I do this? Because I have been 8 years out of the music business and out of the scene, like not even checking to see what Dad and them were doing. Like, I was so out of the loop. And not only that, now, you know, it was this digital way of doing music that, I didn't know nothing about none of this shit, man.
Right.
Ricky Payton pulled me aside and actually showed me and taught me a lot about this part of the game. And it was at that point, because as lo and behold, I hooked up with him in the midst of me trying to figure out what the hell am I going to do. And it was him who kind of was like, let me kind of show you what you need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And let me help you. You know what I mean? So, so for a year now, after between Dad passing away and me actually getting back in P-Funk, was me like, okay, I need to carry Dad's legacy, and I'm going to do this, but I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. How do I do this? You know what I mean? So for a year was me kind of just figuring shit out, to the point where I realized it's like, okay, the next thing I need to do is I need to see if George will let me come back on the road. So that was the next thing. Now it's 2011. It's been about close to a year now. My father was gone, and I think they come to DC or something like that, and I jumped back on Stowed Away again, and end up asking George, like, yo, man, can I come back on the road? And he was like, yeah. He probably, I'm sure he knew I needed it.
Wow.
So yeah, and now, mind you, now I said I had Stowed Away, and mind you, he had 6 guitarists in the band at the time.
Yeah. Only 6?
Right. So on this run, you know, with 6 guitars, this huge band, I asked him, can you bring me back? And I come back, he says, yeah, I'm gonna work it out for you. So we go home from that, and then it was the summer, and the first thing that I did was a one-off. It was the Gathering of the Juggalos George had got for the the Gathering of the Juggalos, and you know, nobody had done it or anything like that, and all it was we just kept getting this words like, whoa, we doing this Juggalos festival. Oh shit, this shit, you know, I've heard about this, and you know, everybody was just like, you know, everybody was scared and shit. So this was my first official show now on the payroll, and it was a one-off. So I get there, and it's like, now I'm at the festival, and I'm like back in the dressing trailer and shit, and it's a big band, so everybody's coming from different parts of the country, different flights, so people kind of arrive just kind of gradually and randomly. And and as it gets like closer to like maybe now it's an hour before it's time for us to go on, and essentially everybody is here, and George is the last one to walk in. Now, mind you, it was 6 guitarists on this last run when I asked him to come back out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's here now. The only guitarist that's in the vicinity is Mike Hampton. He was the only one. So George walks in, and like, mind you, I always sang. I always knew that. They always knew I sang, but none of them knew of me playing no guitar either, and knew I couldn't play. So, when he told me he would bring me back out, I was under the assumption that he was probably gonna have me like singing back up and probably singing one or two of Dad's songs or something like that, right? So when he shows up at the Juggalos thing, it's just Mike there. He shows. I said, "What's up, Joe?" He says, "Hey," because he was running because he was late. Hey, he was like, "Did you bring your guitar?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "You didn't." He was like, "You didn't bring your guitar." I was like, "No, you didn't tell me that's what." I'm looking at him just like that, like, "Nah, you didn't tell me that's what you wanted me to do." And he's like, "Ah." It's like, all right, So we go out there and do the gathering, the Juggalos, with this makeshift band, because this is how George does his transitions. You don't never know that it's going to happen. It's usually like a little break. And then when you come back, you just start seeing people that you don't know, and maybe not seeing people that have been there. And then it's like, yeah, that's yeah. And it's like, oh, damn. So the gathering of the Juggalos, this is one of those times. He's revamping the band.
Right.
Which is why he asked me to come back out, because he's revamping the band. And it's like, yeah, you be a part of that, because I want you to, not necessarily take your dad's place, but I know what you're trying to do. So it's like, come on out here, right? So yeah, no guitar. We do the Juggalos with just Mike. So, but now I know that, okay, he wants me to play guitar in this band. You know what I'm saying? Now that's what I'm going home with. Like, he wants me to play guitar in this band. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't. He can't be serious. So now I'm back at the next run, and this is a run. This is a tour now. We on tour. So I showed up with Dad's guitar, and what I mean? Now it's, getting close to showtime, and, now I got to go up, I know I got to go up here and plug my shit up and, start, getting my prep together or whatever. Now, like I said, mind you, this is all new to me right now.
Right.
And so now I had to come up here and play in the amp next to Mike Hampton's, because that was Dad's amp.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to also step up here and go to Michael Hampton and say, "Hey, what's up, Mike? Hey, yeah, so George said he want me to play guitar, Yeah, right. Wow. You right. He says, "Man, whatever George says, man, whatever."
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's what he said. Just like that. Now, mind you, this too, like at the time, now Mike is like the OG, most tenured person probably in the band.
Yeah.
Who should be garnering all types of OG respect as a guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
But with 5 other guitarists out here,
mm-hmm.
and at least 3 or 4 of them not necessarily really, bred from this cloth,
right,
but coming from someplace else and being inserted into this.
Gotcha.
You can imagine what that can be sometimes.
Yeah.
And
competitive, yeah.
Right. And for somebody like Mike, who should not be dealing with that in his position, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he had been dealing with for 7 years prior with these other cats now. And now it's like, as soon as, this is where I'm thinking, this is where I'm imagining he's at when I'm stepping to him saying, look, this is what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
7 years you've been dealing with that. And now just when you think you can finally breathe and finally, restore some order around here, now here I come. Yeah, George said he want me to play guitar. And it's like, so that's where that's where the root of the reaction really was coming from. It's like, oh, now this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, now this, George, you know what I mean? So with that, now I'm in Mike Hampton boot camp, you know what I mean? Because I'm on the stage.
Yeah. That must have been really, dare I say, intimidating.
Man.
And you had to really
man, dude.
Step up really fast, huh?
Yeah, I had no choice, and he wasn't having it no other way. That's why I say it was boot camp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not complaining though. You know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate it, because like after now it's been almost 10 years now that I've been in the band officially and doing that. And, now, I'm listening. I listened to the last thing that I just put out. And it's like, man, I'm listening to all my music specifically critiquing hard my guitar work, because I have been putting so much fast forward overtime, long overdue work trying to catch up to get to where I need to be, to get to where I'm trying to be standing. You know what I'm saying? And to realize ultimately that, truth be told, I'll probably never, ever catch up to what I'm trying to catch up to. And the point that I need to really hone in on is to not ever stop trying to achieve that goal. You know what I'm saying? Keep on trying to, don't ever stop trying to reach for it. Just keep on trying to get it. You know what I mean? Because in the process, I keep learning. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's something I talk about a lot with a lot of guitar players.
Yeah, man.
I've been playing almost 30 years. It's all I do. You know that. And I mean, I talk to the best of the best, and they're all like, man, I got to get this guitar thing together.
Yeah.
You'd be shocked at who I've heard say that. And we're all just reaching. We're reaching. We hear something better. We feel something better. Like, I was just talking to a drummer friend of mine about this, like before we got on the call. And it's like, I can't tell you how many gigs I've done where I feel like I'm playing, like I sound like shit. And then I go and listen back, and it's like I'm like burning it.
Yeah.
But it's like that struggle, like you get something out of that. And it's like you got to like make friends with that struggle, because like if you feel comfortable, you're not growing.
Exactly.
Right? If you feel like I'm good to go, you're not going to grow. And you're going to, not only, you can't just stay here, you're going to atrophy and regress, right?
That's a popular lesson in P-Funk, is don't ever get complacent.
Yeah.
Don't ever get complacent, man. Don't ever fucking get complacent, man. Don't get comfortable. Amen.
Yeah.
So that's what I say, man. At this point, I think that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned, as far as in the lessons of trying to, fast track myself to, to professional guitar playing and shit. That's the biggest lesson that I've taken, is that, don't ever, ever, ever stop learning. Don't ever stop learning.
And you got to take one from the book of Tom Newman. The best line he ever said: "Slow is fast."
Yes, I'm with that. Now, they didn't teach it to us like that, but that's another thing that they always drill in you, like when they trying to show you something, because the thing is, like, you're not ever trying to look, like the weak link. So it's like they show it to you, you trying to get it like they got it, and they tell you like, oh, whoa. slow. Do it slow. You know what I'm
he also it's funny because I've been looking back at that time at Duke Ellington a lot lately, and especially
Yeah.
since Newman it's going through some health struggles, and so we've been in touch
Is
a
he?
lot lately. Yeah, he
You talk
yeah.
to him again, tell him I asked about him,
I
man.
will. I talk to him all the time. I talk to him
Good.
about once a week.
Tell him I send him my well wishes
I will.
too.
I will absolutely.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
trying to. I got to get him on one of these soon.
Yeah.
But so much of the foundation of who I am comes from him, and
Yeah.
like the slow is fast thing. Just how to take your time and slow things down and really dig in and practice. Because he would say stuff like, you almost have to over prepare. You have to over prepare, over practice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to overshoot the mark every time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to make the mark, you can't aim for the mark. You have to aim past the mark
Mm-hmm. That
all
makes
the time,
perfect
constantly.
sense.
And you might never hit the mark, but it's like,
Yeah, try to have fun with the whole journey of it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you try to do that, then because so Mike Hampton is a savant. So as another thing that I learned, you know what I'm saying? Like, and now I didn't learn it to the point to where I don't think I became a savant like that, but
mm,
that kind of taught me the difference in like good and great. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Why, like, it's like I see why you're Mike Hampton and why the cat that's playing in the club right now, in the little local bar or whatever, is him. I see what the difference is. You know what I'm saying? Or no. Because truth be told, that cat in the bar is probably one day going to be Mike Hampton, because chances are he is hungry and he is a savant. But what I'm getting at is, like, immediately what I keyed into on tour with Mike was the fact that Mike Hampton always had a guitar with
mm,
him. Always. I don't
yeah,
care where we were. I don't care if we were at the after party. I don't care if it was a day off and somebody was just like grilling out on their back balcony and it was just like a just get together. He was coming with his guitar. If
yeah,
you go to his hotel room, his guitar is on the bed. All his tools are all over the place. You know what I'm saying? There's some music going. And if it's not on the bed, it's in his hand, and he's noodling with it while he's talking to you.
yep,
I've even seen him asleep on the bus with the guitar hanging from his neck, bro. I'm
mm-hmm,
like, that right there is how you become Mike Hampton.
mm,
That's how you become that good, bro. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? You have to obsess with that thing.
You have to
That's what
live with it, right?
that's what I learned, like, so lesson like that, I end up taking into my entire musical existence from
Mm-hmm,
this point forward. Like, I don't think I will ever be that great of a guitar player like that or anything like that. But what I will always be is that kind of a musician who is like, like that is the epitome of like passion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the epitome of loving what you do. You know what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And that's how you get music, timeless music, like Parliament-Funkadelic music. You see what
yes,
I'm saying? Because like one thing you said to me that's really like sticking with me is how you're talking about Mr. Newman and how you say you kind of shaped your entire musical existence or whatever you said.
well, for sure the
That's
foundation,
the
yeah,
foundation.
because
Yeah,
a
shaped the
lot has come
foundation of it.
since then, but yeah, he set the foundation for sure.
Like, okay, so like when you say that, like that's not a world that I even like. That was the thing with Duke Ellington, was that part was new and strange for me. Like the regimen,
Mm-hmm.
the that wasn't a thing where in the P-Funk camp, because the regimen was just always recording this music.
It was just happening. There was no,
the regimen was just always happening. You know what I mean? So yeah, like so the regimen, they're just learning that. You know what I mean? And hearing you talk, like I don't have a, you know, like my mentor like that is like my dad, or you know, these same cats that I'm going to be talking about all the time for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? That you guys love to. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have like a Obi-Wan, you know what I'm saying, to like that, you know, like that Obi-Wan, that, you know, that OG that, you know, nobody, I admire that, you know what I'm saying? Like the best to me always got that cat, you know what I mean, who ain't the local cat who ain't never cared to be no place besides local. But when you came in and showed an interest in that, he said, "Oh, you like that? Here, let me show you that. Let me show you how to, that's how you hold that. You know, now do this. Put your hand right there and, you know, yeah, there you go. Now, yeah, there you hear what you playing? Twinkle, twinkle, little star," and piques your interest. You know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, you know what I'm saying, like 3-4 years after that, you're fucking fluent in your instrument. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of shit, you know what I'm saying, that was like, that was a learning experience for me. And I didn't really get to absorb it long because I was out of Duke Ellington so long, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
well, the cool thing about that though, at that time, and I think it's probably more strict there now, but Newman's, like, I call it a lab, is like, it was loose enough that you had a little, it was a little regimented, you know, just a little bit, but then there was a lot of space for curiosity, and it was kind of like, you know, and this is all before the internet. It was kind of like going on the internet without having the internet, because like you go in there, you're curious about guitar, he can tell you anything, he can show you anything, he's got all the records, he's got like magazine clippings all on the wall with all the interviews and pictures. He can just be like, "Oh, Google. You like that? Go look at that, or look at this, or check this out, or this and that." It was like going on the internet.
He was Google.
And then he'd be like, come see my band. You'd be like 16, 17, and he'd say, you know, come to Out of the Blue on U Street because I'm playing with my band there. And like, you know, you go there and they don't card you, they let you in. At that time, it's like they didn't care, and you go and see him, and he sees you walk in, and he's about to take a solo, and he knows you're watching, and he is like, "I'm going to show these kids." And so you're getting this immersion from, and then, you know, you go and do gigs, and he comes to your gigs, and he's like, you know, talking to your it's like, it was like a full on, you know.
That's so awesome because he's showing you. He's showing you what a lot of teachers in that realm don't want you to see. You know what I'm saying? Like he's showing you why he's giving you he's showing you why this thing is fun.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. because when we're in there and you got to be under that curriculum and that regimen or whatever it is, that thing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's almost like, you know, that's almost militaristic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that you ain't really, you know, I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? And don't play it outside of this. Don't play outside. That's, you know, don't.
But some people can thrive from that. You know, like, with James Brown, and then he got out and was like, "I'm ready to cut loose." Well, but he had that foundation, you know.
Well, right on the foundation. No, so I'm not knocking the foundation.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is the foundation is boring because it's the foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why they have to show you the foundation, because usually when you pick the instrument up, that's what you want to do is go and be that dude, you know what I'm saying? And you don't see you don't see what goes into getting to that part, you know what I mean? And that's because it's boring. And then when they start putting it on you and you like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? I just want to get up here and just fucking, you know, rock out. It's like, no, you have to you know what I'm saying? It starts right there. Don't
Yep.
nobody want to do that. So
Right.
what I'm saying is, it's cool for him to you know, like I wish I had taken guitar now, man, because
Oh, you would have loved it.
he
You would
would
have
have been
loved it.
my kind of fucking cat.
You
You
would
know
have
what I'm
loved it.
saying? He shows you that side of it that you know, like I know you got to do this when we here, and you know I got to put my suit and tie on for you up in here. But believe me, there's an end game to this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's not all just this. You know,
Right.
come out
Right.
here and let me show you. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This actually is cool, young man.
Yeah.
That's a dope approach, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have been my kind of cat, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time since Duke.
Yes.
You know what?
20 plus years.
You know what I wish I would have carried from Duke that I'm also trying to play catch up on now? My piano lab classes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
lost all my piano. I had a little thing going on, but it's all gone.
you know, as funny as it may seem, I actually remember my little bit of piano because the one thing that I learned in piano, because when I was in piano lab, that was like our class to clown around in. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Yeah. So I didn't pay so much attention to what I was supposed to be doing, more so than I was in there.
And you had headphones, so you could be doing anything. You remember
Exactly,
those?
exactly. But I was paying attention to my dun 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that was, I paid attention to that. And now when I record my music, if I have to play keyboards for myself, man, I will 1 4 5 4 your ass to death, boy. And I don't give a damn what I put down. I will make that shit work for me, and you will swear to God that I was a keyboard player when I finished.
Oh my God.
You'll swear I was a player. So
That's
but
awesome.
when I put it down, it just makes me think back to those days, and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have paid more attention because I really want to get out of this little 1 4 5 4 box. I want to fucking get loose on this thing.
Did you ever get to play with Bernie Worrell?
No, not when I was seriously. Oh, so yes, I did. Bernie did that fundraising concert at Webster
Yeah.
Hall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was on that. I was on
Okay.
that. And the morning of that, we did the Colbert show.
Right.
Yeah, so I got to be on that with them. So
Nice.
yeah, and truth be told, that was my actual first time really getting to be on stage with Bernie, like as a serious musician. Because
Yeah.
when I was out before, when I was young, he had come back out for a few years, but I wasn't really in the band, and I was more so in the crew back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when we did that memorial, that fundraising concert in Colbert that morning, it was magical. I had a great ass time because Bootsy was on that too. So it was George, Bernie, and Bootsy.
Yeah, Bernie was a straight up genius. I mean,
Oh yeah,
what it's like he changed the DNA of all
music.
types of popular music.
Yes, of music. He changed the DNA of music. Period. I would just had DJ Clue on my show. That's who I was just in. DJ Cool. That's who I just finished interviewing, and he had just finished saying the same thing and singing a
Yeah.
ode to Bernie and saying how he
Uh,
thinks Bernie is the greatest keyboard player ever.
and
And
and a really sweet guy. I never got to play with him, but Steve Kimmock. I don't know how you say his name. He used to be in like the Jerry Garcia band at one point. He has his own
I think
thing.
I know who you're talking about.
He used to have Bernie in his bands.
Yeah, because
And my wife, who's a singer, and I used to do duet shows, and we somehow were opening for him, and Bernie was playing with him, and we were hanging out and talking, and he's just such a sweet guy and really encouraging and just like really down to earth and
yeah,
all that.
he was fucking wonderful, man.
Yeah.
He was a sweet dude.
Yeah.
Did you I'm sure you've heard his record, The All the Woo in the World.
Yeah, I feel like I
Awesome
have
record.
friends that are on that record.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about from the '70s.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't
Yes.
think I know that one.
Yeah, it's all the woo in the world. Check
But
that.
there was something he did before he passed away that, Andre LaSalle.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Um,
about. I can't
I,
think of the name of that project, but
it was
yeah,
like Woo Warriors or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was the name of his band, the Woo Warriors.
right. And I think I have a few colleagues like on some of that, but no,
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know
got
that
a
record, All the Woo in the
yeah.
World.
It's that's the actual. I think that's the first Bernie Worrell solo record from the '70s. I want to say it's on like Atlantic Records or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. When George had everybody signed to all these deals all over the place. Yeah, Bernie had one, and Bernie had a badass album out. Man, it's
Wow.
yeah. I meant to get. I didn't get to get into it with DJ Cool, but yeah, check that out if you get a chance, man. Bernie is an all time genius, man.
Yeah.
All time.
You've seen his documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
pretty great.
I mean, talking heads. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's like,
Yes.
Bernie is.
I
Bernie.
love him in the Talking Heads. That stuff is amazing. I mean, he just brought all that stuff to life. I mean, it was already great, and then he just
He gave, yeah, exactly. He like literally like made it jump off of the vinyl.
yeah, yep, yep,
You know what
yep,
I'm saying?
yep, yep.
Like literally made it jump off the vinyl. That's all that he did for P Funk Records too. I've seen a meme with you probably seen it too. It's a picture of Bernie, and it's like the mothership. It's something like the mothership don't drive or something because I got the keys or something like that.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's fucking dope as hell. But it's right on 100%, man.
Yeah,
Bernie is the king, man.
yeah. He was like Scotty. He's like Scotty in the engine room.
Yeah, man. So that was the other thing was like when unbeknownst to me when I was in high school, it was like I was unbeknownst to y'all, I was kind of in denial of how deep P-Funk's influence really was on music. Truth be told, I probably was like oblivious to it when I first got there. Like it wasn't until I was like in the middle of my tenure at Duke Ellington that I was actually learning the entire catalog for myself and like really becoming a fan of it and like really understanding the impact that like my dad had on the music and that the band had like on the music that we were even listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even realize that most of the music that I was listening to at the time was our music.
Wow.
Dad would be like in the car with me and something would come on and he'd be like, oh, that's us right there. And he would do it so often, I would just be like in the back of my mind, like, oh, shut the hell up. That's not y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'd be thinking to myself, like, you think everything on the radio is
But
you.
it was. The truth is it was.
Exactly. Like, and that's what started blowing my mind even, as the years went on. It's like, damn, he was right. It's like you start discovering shit like, oh, wow, he was right.
Wow.
He wasn't just being arrogant.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. But yeah, my journey to get to right here is very obscure. It's like boom, boom. I just all over the place to get right.
I don't know. It seems pretty in the stars.
Yeah.
It seems like
I like.
Yeah, of course.
I like that you put it that way.
I mean,
Because
obscure would be like random. Like it's not random at all. I mean, it doesn't look that way.
It sure has felt random. It has felt random. Because I'm saying I've done ventured many a things before I ultimately and it took took the unfortunate event of me losing my father, who was one of the legends at this and was living with me all my life. You know what I'm saying? It took me losing him before I said, "What are you doing, you dumbass?" I was 32 by then. You know what I'm saying? I was 32.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got a record out, yeah?
Yeah, man. This is my third record, man.
It's called Pandemic?
Yeah.
So when did that come out?
I released it earlier this month. Actually, it came out on the 3rd. I think it did.
Nice. You want to
Yeah, man.
talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a fun record. You know, I try to keep all my records just kind of loose and, versatile and, like not really sticking to one in particular thing. You know, I like to have a lot of fun. You know, I like to be really broad. But I chose the pandemic topic because we were in the midst of it. So
Yep.
I had maybe half the songs already recorded by then.
Mm-hmm.
And when I decided to call my record Pandemic, I decided to record a couple of songs to kind of fit the theme, because other than that, I had just been recording, and that's what I do. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a pre-calculated, I'm not like pre-calculated with projects. So, I don't write like that. I'm an in the moment writer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a feeling the vibe kind of writer. I sit down and open up the studio and I say, let me pick up the bass and say, and then I tip around till I hear a bass line that I feel or something that I like.
Yeah.
I record it, and then I blossom everything from that. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Whatever. I play keyboards to it. I play guitar to it, you know. And in the midst of that, if I start conceptualizing lyrics, then I put that down. You know what I'm saying? And I go as far as I can go. And a lot of the times I complete a song in the midst of doing that. Sometimes I just put down some music and I'm like, damn, that's funky as hell. I don't know what I want to say to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I do ride around and then all of a sudden catch a vibe and it's like, oh man, I need to write that. And if I am aware enough to record it,
Yeah.
then I will go in the studio and vibe on something that a pre-vibe, but it's very rare. So that's what this album is. And when I came up with the pandemic concept, it was just about, I need to at least come up with some songs to make the topic or the title pandemic make sense, and we were in the midst of going through it. It was like, what kind of things am I feeling as I'm sitting home, not able to do a damn thing? I'm not able to go on tour. I'm not even really able to kick it with any of my friends. And then what I thought was, I was like, you know what? A cool theme to this record would be, since everyone's kind of home and stuck to themselves right now anyway, I'm gonna sit here in my studio by myself and I'm gonna write this record by myself for the most part. The songs I had recorded prior coming in, I had pretty much played and recorded and wrote everything. So I
Mm.
was like, I'm just gonna proceed the rest of the way musically that way. I'm just gonna write most of this myself. I'm gonna play most of the instruments myself. And then the pandemic album makes sense to me, because when someone says, well, why did you name your album Pandemic? It's like, well, because we were all home quarantined, I couldn't get with anybody. So I figured, since I couldn't really get with my musician friends and vibe like I usually would, I would just write an album all by myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this album is. This is pandemic music. This is quarantine music. You know what I'm saying? This is what I did while I was sitting home quarantined with just myself and my studio, So
Cool.
that's the concept of Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the songs, I say a versatile blend of stuff that goes everywhere, because that's what I'm going to always do.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you get to play some of this stuff live.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's we had just started doing that, and we had just put together an opening show for all of the younger members of the band,
Mm-hmm.
and I was finally getting a chance to actually do a song of mine on that stage live. We did 6 shows after rehearsing it, and then shut down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but you know what? the universe is gonna work in my favor, man. We're not gonna be down forever. We'll be
No,
back out here.
no, it's just like when and what's it gonna look like and
Exactly.
all that. And
Yeah, man.
I feel like now though it's kind of there is an opportunity in this, even though it's, obviously not ideal, but
Well, that's how I looked at it too, man. It was like, man, as opposed to, sitting around and feeling sorry for everything, for myself, or, sitting back and, stressing everything that's going on. Look at it as an opportunity to take time to really get in depth with yourself, man.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
really, really improve your shit, man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I've taken the year to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been practicing all the time and I've been wanting to do something like this a long time. And I'm like, okay, you got the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like,
Me too.
I'm doing this. I probably played on more recordings this year than any other year ever.
I can imagine.
It's because people are like sending me shit. I put out like 3 things of my own this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey.
Yeah. What's up with your album, man? I saw you put that project out there. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, that's funny because I think one of the last times we were chatting was because I put that out in February of this year of 2020. And that's kind of my quarantine record, but I started it way before. I had this weird spidey sense in September of 2019, like you got to finish that record, you got to do that like right now, get on it right now, put it out on your birthday because I turned 40 in February, so I was like, okay, so I set that goal. Came out in February. It was doing really well. Like people were buying the CD on my website. It was growing great. And then as soon as all this shit stopped, like all that stopped too. It was just like, oh, what? But I had a good month of like basking in success from that. And
good.
I don't think I would have done it the way I did it had I had to do it in a quarantine, because I was kind of a mess in March, April, May, because in New York, this shit was rough.
Yeah, that's all about to say. I can imagine.
It was pretty, like, people were really stressed out here. It was really
we were stressed
bizarre.
watching y'all, man. That was
Yeah,
stressful watching from afar.
Yeah, we got hit really hard here. And, I mean, my wife my wife often gets on people who do not live in the city and were never in the city, who are like, oh, it's fine, like whatever. She's like, look, we would hear an ambulance literally every 5 minutes for weeks.
She's like,
and that does something to you. And knowing what that is, knowing people on your block are like drowning from the inside is like, it's fucking crazy and scary.
I don't see how people can't just look at the news and see those numbers go up.
Because I think people, like, it's a proximity thing. It's like any other kind of disparity or disease or anything. You don't really feel it if it's not close to you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess I wasn't that way. That shit.
No, I know. Well, but a lot
at.
of people still in this country are like, they don't feel it yet.
It's amazing to discover. It's an amazing thing to discover, bro. That it's that many heartless people that live in this fucking world, man.
Well, I don't know. I think they're just not sensitive to it or something. I don't understand. But yeah, I mean,
I guess that's what I mean. But it very comes off. It really comes off as heartless, man. When, I mean, when fucking people are dying everywhere, man, and you just like,
yeah,
they said if it don't affect you, people just don't seem to care. If it don't affect me, I don't care.
Yeah, but this shows that American ethos, as it were, of like, it's not my problem until it's on your doorstep, right? And there's a lot of that here.
Yeah, and still it's on a lot of people's doorstep, and they're still like,
right.
And a lot of my friends in other countries, man, when I chat with them, they're like, bruh,
yeah, you guys are fucking up, right?
They're like, we're like watching y'all like in horror, wondering what's going on. And I'm like, man, I got no answers for you. I'm trying to come back over there where y'all are because I'm getting terrified too.
You know what's really strange is that, and I kind of hate that. I kind of hate this, but it's also like a survival mechanism. I can remember in March when I started following the numbers, right?
Uh huh.
And I remember it was really like northern Italy that blew up
Uh huh.
the first. And I remember seeing 3,500 dead, the
Really?
number. And I was crying. I lost it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe this. And now you look at the numbers and
We're
it
doing
doesn't
that
even
every
hit me
day
like that. It doesn't even hit me like that anymore because
because
it's just like every,
because you're numb to it
it's
now.
like then it's exactly. And I hate that I'm numb to it, but it's like,
But
what are you going to
it's
do?
because it's happening every day. You have no choice. You have
Yeah.
no choice but to just get no numb to it and normalize it in your mind until they can figure a way to fix it. That's all we got. We have to just oh man, it's it's a morbid thought to have, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's
But I will say it's really put things in perspective for me. It's made me really I feel like it's funny cuz we're physically distant and separated now, but I feel closer to people, than I used to. Because
yeah.
before it definitely felt like an autopilot. Like I love people. I'm really sensitive to people. I like being around people. I like my people, right? But
Hmm.
now it's just like I feel super hyper tuned in all the time. And it's like, like I'm calling people all the time,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
got to check in on so and such and resolve this stupid beef from like years ago. Like let's take
Yeah,
care of all of
man.
it.
Yeah,
No,
man, because nothing is fucking just set in stone right now. Most
no,
definitely not right now.
no.
Yeah, well, we just keep staying, keep taking care of ourselves, keep cautious, keep safe, stay resilient. We'll be all right. I know we'll be all right, man. It's just,
But we got to be
yeah,
smart though. We can't,
yeah,
you see these people acting like assholes and then 2 weeks later they're like, like having these parties in the White House and shit and in the Rose Garden and then you find out half of them got COVID.
and they don't seem to give a goddamn. So
It's
what
crazy.
can you do?
It's
Because
crazy.
that's the scariest part. Like we living in a day and time where people are not trying to have their, they're not even trying to have their mind changed. You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
people are out here just screaming and arguing, and it's like you're not even open to having your mind changed. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not open to an opposite opinion. It's like what you think or to hell with it. And
Right.
that is dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a
It is
really
dangerous.
strange time.
A lot of dangerous shit happening right now, man. And so yeah, I just want to play my music right now, man. I just want to express myself with music.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of the only things making it all worth it, right?
I'm
Like
telling you, that's the only thing that's gotten me through.
otherwise it's just a bunch of insanity,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And my like I watch the news all the time.
Oh
Even
yeah.
it's like it's even it's if it's just like white noise in here while I'm doing something else, my TV's just always on the news. You know what I'm saying? And when I really key into it and I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything else and I'm watching, then I walk away from it saying, man, thank goodness I have this fucking outlet to be able to do this, because if I couldn't do this, this shit would be fucking depressing me to no end.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
This shit's crazy, man. Ah, we be all
So
right though. We coming out of it though.
so you also have the Stuffs and Things podcast.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. If you in case y'all
That's right.
that is my backdrop. Yeah, Fridays at 9 p.m. I just finished doing one.
And
Uh,
it goes live. It goes out live.
yep, I do it on my YouTube live, and from time to time I broadcast it on my website live too.
Is it archived on like an audio like iTunes or
It's
anything like that?
it's archived on my website right now. I haven't. You know what? I haven't looked into that because I still feel like I'm kind of fresh in this podcast game thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like when I go to something like that, I want to make sure that it's professional. I want to make sure I work out all the technical difficulties and you know,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
yeah, because I
So
still have
how
those
long have you been
steps.
doing this podcast?
I guess since March, since the end of March, or either March or April. Shit, I just did my 31st show.
Nice.
Yeah, and I probably missed a few weeks here and there.
Nice. Cool. So what's your URL for your website?
www.thefunkstar.com.
Nice. Cool.
Yes,
So
sir.
everybody should go check that out.
Yeah, go check out thefunkstar.com, man, and go subscribe and get you some merch too. Get you a mask or two. I got a couple of cool masks up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks
It's
for
been
having me, man. It was
cool
cool.
to catch up.
Indeed, man. It's cool catching up, man. And you got my number, man. Hit me up anytime, man.
I
Let's
just, did you
collab on
get
some
my
work.
text? I texted you a little
I
while
got your
ago.
text. Yeah,
All
that's
right,
how
cool.
I do to look for you on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And
Cool, man.
send me some work if you want to, too, man. Let's exchange some work if you want.
Yeah, let's do all of it. Let's do all of the things.
I'm down. I'm down. I'm down, man. You keep safe out there, man, and take care. And when I get up there, man, I'll give you a ring too, man. Get with you.
Absolutely.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks. Take care.
Much love, Ben,
All
man.
right.
All right, man.
Thank you so much for being here with me again tonight. This is episode 2 with Garrett Shider of Parliament-Funkadelic. We had a blast. That was enlightening and insightful and hilarious and fun. So don't forget to click the red subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Please stay in touch, bentyree.net. Please support if you want to help us keep doing this show. Venmo at Ben Tyree, Cash App $Ben Tyree. Take very good care of yourselves. Have a wonderful new year, and we'll see you again soon.